Yeah. So we're recording right now. I'm Chris Harris, and this is another interview for Principles of Entrepreneurship. I'm sitting down with my guest Matt. Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I'm Matt. I'm a freshman at UF and talking about furniture.
Okay, you have to speak up a little bit. Let me move the stuff out of the way of the mic. The mic's gonna be on the side of the computer right here. Anyways, yeah, we're talking about furniture in the United States. So the reason that I found furniture manufacturing to be my business opportunity is because Donald Trump, elected president, as you know, wants to build a wall to strengthen our borders between us and Mexico. So the way he identified to do this and have Mexico pay for it, which is what he was saying during all of his campaign speeches and all his rallies, is he's going to have Mexico pay for the wall.
He didn't mean like directly pay for it. He meant like pay in some kind of way.
Yeah,
aka
so they're
tariffs.
going to put it. He's proposing a 20% tariff on all imports coming from Mexico, which is a lot because I'm sure you're aware. What's your major again?
Computer science.
Computer science. Okay. I talked to finance majors and economics majors, and they were telling me that the United States itself is a net importer, meaning we import more goods than we export. And lots of these goods actually do come from Mexico, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Are you familiar with Mexico's exports?
I'm not like 100% positive, but I assume it's like agricultural.
Yeah, most people believe that it's agricultural, but they do export a lot of produce and whatnot, but their main export in the United States is automotive.
Okay.
So branches like Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chevy, GMC, they all have branches down in Mexico because what they're ultimately doing is searching for the lower labor cost, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I believe it's like number between 4 or 5 or 6 was furniture. Mexico exports a lot of furniture. It's actually a growing industry. It's grown over 60% in the past since 2011, so the past 6 years. So, it's on its way up. A lot of money to be made in that industry.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'm proposing as an idea is because you're going to have this 20% tariff that we talked about. You're familiar with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm familiar with it. What if instead, to avoid this tariff, we were to manufacture furniture here in the United States?
I think the tariff is kind of like a step towards that. Because the entire reason that companies like move their manufacturing to Mexico is because it's close and it's cheaply made, cheaper than the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
So it like for those companies, it's like a better financial fiscal decision to move their production to Mexico, which is like right across. And if there's like a tariff imposed, that economic like gain becomes an economic loss. So they have two choices, which is either to export to a different country and import from there, or they can come back here, which is probably a cheaper option. So even if that 20% tariff doesn't like economically affect those people, they might just come back anyway, which is that goal.
Right, and that's exactly how I see it happening is because of the tariff, then companies are going to be like, okay, well, if we manufacture our product here in Mexico, we're going to have to pay 20% more to offset this tariff.
Mm-hmm.
So, or take a 20% loss in profits, which no company is going to say, oh, yeah, we're going to settle for taking a loss. They're going to say, no, we're going to raise the price of our product to make the same amount of money and help offset this tariff.
That removes the like justification for them like outsourcing manufacturing.
Right. And how do you think that will affect supply and demand for goods coming from Mexico?
I don't think that supply and demand will change. From Mexico, I think it'll definitely change, but I don't think that the supply and demand for the actual goods will change.
Okay.
Just because I think that the things that are being manufactured in Mexico will just come here and continue to be manufactured equally.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel too. Because with the 20% tariff, it's going to like raise the prices, but the supply will still be there. Demand will still be there. The demand will eventually go down because of the price increase. So then, therefore, the supply will also go down until it reaches an equilibrium.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what I propose is I see an opportunity to manufacture furniture here in the United States, because we talked about how this is one of Mexico's largest exports to America. How do you feel about that? Are there any things you could say, like what would possibly get in the way of this business? What would benefit from this business?
I could definitely see like benefits, and I know that Donald Trump's initiative for this tariff was his overall goal is just to bring the jobs that are being outsourced back to the United States to create jobs and stimulate the economy in a way that like is beneficial to the United States rather than these other countries that are making money off of that.
Right, I totally agree with you on that.
And I think that specifically furniture would be like a really good like manufacturing opportunity and just another example of like the many manufacturing opportunities that could be like insourced here.
Yeah, because furniture is something that there's always gonna be a demand for.
Mm-hmm.
Like no matter what, no matter where you are.
You can't just stop having furniture.
Yeah, everybody's gonna need it, but the supply might dwindle down because these companies are gonna say, okay, well, we're gonna have to charge this much more for our product, and with the lower labor costs and stuff, this is what we're relying on is that the 20% tariff will help offset the labor costs because all we know is to pay workers for something that's going to be made in America, it's going to cost more money, inevitably.
Mm-hmm.
But do you personally think that when you go out and you see a product that's made in America, would you be willing to spend more money on the product? Or
Yeah, I think that anyone who like knows economy in the sense that like the way each piece plays, like the role that each person and each
Like everything plays in the economy,
Yeah.
specifically the United States, can agree that like buying domestic would be like the way to go, even if it was a few cents more.
and yeah, it's a definite like offset. Like you pay a little bit more, you get better quality goods, and you're directly supporting the economy.
But that's not necessarily true for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. But what if it were the same price or possibly even cheaper?
I think if it was the same price or cheaper, then everyone would always go with it, America.
Yeah, okay. So who would you identify as a typical customer for this product?
For furniture, I would say people that start to buy furniture, people that have like just bought their first house, so people like out of college, like couples.
So like, yeah, I see that. And then people who are renovating too.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe older couples who want to just replace their furniture. So there's always going to be a steady need for furniture. And we're always going to have that people out there that are going to be needing to go and buy furniture and refurnish their house. So it's just pretty much every American with a home.
Yeah.
Right. I see. And what other things do you think get in the way of this success of this business opportunity?
I think one like big flaw is just like the calculation of the cost, because if it's being imported from Mexico, it's a 20% tariff, which means it costs more to import, which means the price of it's going to be higher. So that just that hurts the consumer because that would like raise prices. So as a result, if they moved it into the United States, it would still be more expensive just because labor in the United States is more expensive.
Right.
So both options kind of make the price go up,
Mhm.
which is not ideal for like the average American consumer.
I totally agree with you on that one. And but with the price increase, I feel like many people would be willing to pay that extra price because of the Made in America good, and the fact that the other goods coming from across the border will be raised due to the fact of the tariff and the cost of production for those. But what about other countries? Do you think that people would be willing to buy furniture from here, like this large furniture outlets such as like IKEA, Rooms to Go, places like that? Would they say, okay, well, let's stop importing furniture from here, let's buy it in America? Or would they say, okay, let's import from, say, China, Indonesia?
Yeah, that could definitely happen, which would just lead to more like tariffs on like every country. And I think that companies are always looking to get like the best deal and like the cheapest labor and everything. So I think they would probably just move it to a different country, even though they have to like ship it from large distances and like across seas.
Yeah, and that's the thing is,
Like an issue.
yeah, when you look at stuff that's like shipped from overseas, like we're saying automotive,
Mm-hmm.
that's a big thing in Mexico because the shipping cost to get it from Mexico to the United States is going to be so much less than it would be to, say, build a car in China where the labor costs are even cheaper and you can have more manufacturing, but then you have to worry about shipping that car all the way to the United States, and then that takes a big chunk of your profit out.
Yeah.
So that's what I've identified is furniture is going to be the same way, in my opinion. It's a big, bulky item. You can't really, I mean, you could disassemble it, but a lot of like nice made furniture, like this table, you can't really break that apart.
Yeah.
You got to ship it as a whole item. So a lot of these things are going to be bulky items that if we were to manufacture overseas, then the cost of shipping would surpass the cost of production here in America.
Mm. Well, in addition, there's also like places that are like cheaper and imported. I know IKEA is an import, like their furniture isn't made here.
Yeah.
And like IKEA is very cheap. And like if let's say the people who have their goods, like their furniture made in Mexico, the prices rise because of the tariff or them moving their manufacturing to the United States, people, like the consumer, might just not buy that and then go to IKEA and get it cheaper anyway.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. But it was very nice to have this eye-opening conversation with you, and I thank you kindly for being a guest and letting me interview you.
Thank you.
Well, have a good day.